morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Well, no one seems very happy about it being Monday. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so can I give the COVID update first? So, good morning, Queensland. And in great news, we've only had 2 cases in hotel quarantine overnight. So again, that's fantastic. There's 11 active cases, and we've done 3,748 tests in the last 24 hours. So everywhere I go across Queensland, everyone's out enjoying their lifestyle. But remember, it's absolutely vital that if anyone has any symptoms, to please go and get tested. Now, the vaccine rollout continues this week, which is also further good news. And this week, we plan to bring on 3 more vaccination hubs at the RBWH, Sunshine Coast and Townsville. And we plan to do 3,000 vaccines this week. So once again, I know everyone's getting excited, and we'll keep you updated every week. But of course, our priority at the moment is definitely on our frontline workers. And of course, the Commonwealth is looking after aged care. Now, before moving on to what we're here to talk about today, which is Cross River Rail, there's also a potential cyclone off the coast of Queensland, up in the far north. It's 250 kilometres southeast of Cairns. The watch zone is from Cape Flattery to Lucinda. And can I just remind everyone, if it is flooded, forget it. We are expecting it to form into a cyclone later on today or tomorrow. And of course, at this stage, the predictions are that it's going to remain offshore, but we need to keep a close eye on that. Well, today we're here at Cross River Rail at one of our wonderful new stations. And there's been a lot of excitement, and Minister Bailey has already been down 6 stories below where we are, and where the cabin for the new Roma Street station is actually being built. This is vital infrastructure. It's part of our $5.6 billion Cross River Rail construction. It's thousands of jobs, but what is also fundamental here is that this is the type of infrastructure that is needed for a 2032 Olympics. So when you're talking about what's needed for the future, this is part of the transport infrastructre that will be needed, and our government is getting on and building this project. So the station will be 27 metres below ground level. It will have 220 metre long platforms, and by 2036 there should be 46,000 people expected to use this station alone every weekday. And it's a vital hub here, and it's going to be like the equivalent of like a Grand Central station. So it's very exciting looking at the design, meeting the young apprentices that are also involved in this very necessary project. But at the end of the day, this is about jobs. This is the future. When you're talking about the southeast Queensland and what's needed for the future, looking towards an Olympics as well, it's vital infrastructure that is needed and is necessary, and it's keeping people in jobs right now as we speak. So I'll hand over to Mark Bailey. He can give you a first-hand account of what it's like 6 stories underground, and then we'll hear from Graham and Grace, and we're happy to take some questions. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks so much, Premier. Look, fantastic to join the Premier, Minister Grace, Graham Newton, the CEO, here at the Roma Street station box and construction site. Very exciting, 6 stories down. It is absolutely epic down there. The roof of the station box is largely in place. It's going to be a 250 metre platform there. We've done nearly 400 metres, nearly 4 football fields long of tunnelling down there already. And this is going to be something that Brisbane, it'll have a wow factor for Brisbane passengers when it's complete and those trains are coming through. Having our first genuine underground line in Brisbane and for the whole of southeast Queensland. A lot of commuters coming in for the Sunshine Coast and Gold Coast, Ipswich every day. They'll be able to, for the first time, change lines here, from the existing line to the new line. The Inner Northern Busway also comes in here, so that Roma Street station will be one of the busiest public transport hubs in Brisbane and servicing the whole of southeast Queensland. What is really exciting is to see 2,400 people have incomes right now because of the Cross River Rail project. That will increase to 3,000 this year. We've got 180 apprentices and trainees who have been on the job so far, and that will escalate to 450. So the training here is fantastic, with more than $4 million a day going into the economy at a time when we really need it in terms of our plan for recovery from the COVID pandemic. So I can't talk about this Cross River Rail project enough in terms of the positive impacts it will have. We're seeing people come to Queensland and Southeast Queensland again in large numbers because of the pandemic, so we're getting the infrastructure in place ahead of time so that we can move people around efficiently, and this Roma Street area will be a phenomenal piece of infrastructure, and seeing it emerge underground, it is really quite extraordinary. The pictures are amazing. I'll hand over to Minister Grace.
As a local member, every time I come to a site of Cross River Rail, I am amazed every day. It is an amazing project. It will bring Brisbane into well and truly the 21st century. The jobs that it is creating are amazing, and it was great to meet Bailey and Grace, two apprentices here today, who as young people have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work on a project like Cross River Rail. It's going to be an amazing outcome. Brisbane's new underground, a new permanent station at the exhibition grounds, a brand new station here at Roma Street, where we can really truly appreciate the wonderful surroundings of this area, and then of course another brand new station in Albert Street. It is going to revolutionise the southeast corner, Brisbane in particular, but more importantly set us up for the 2032 Olympic Games bid and all the jobs that come with these projects. It's fantastic to be here once again with the Premier and Minister Bailey.
Graham Newton's my name. I'm the CEO of the Cross River Rail Delivery Authority. First of all, I just want to welcome the Premier and the Ministers to the site here today and acknowledge all of the participants and the media. Thank you for coming. This is one of 10 major construction sites for Cross River Rail across Brisbane at the moment. And on this particular site, as the Ministers were talking about, we've seen a lot of work going on underground. About 128,000 tonnes of material have been removed from below ground, and that takes us to about 75% of the heading, but they then need to excavate another layer down below that. So we're really seeing the work happening across the site. The real feeling is there's a lot of work happening on the surface, but the work in Brisbane's underground is progressing. So while we stand here, Brisbane's underground is really progressing below our feet. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
What's the end date on the project?
2025.
2024?
Around 2024, 2025 for the opening of this. Yep.
Okay, what date exactly? Because I'm sure you said 24 before, but there's no specific date. You must have an idea.
The construction starts is 2024, and the opening of the whole project,
2025.
Testing is 2025. That's
What date in 2025? January 1 or?
We'll find that out for you, Patrick.
4 years away.
Let's get everyone onto the...
How concerned are you about the pandemic and the effects that will have on getting somebody to rebuild Brisbane Line?
Say that again.
How worried are you that the pandemic will affect the government being able to find someone
Well,
to build Brisbane
Lydia,
Line?
this is a really good question, because we've seen in other countries construction halted, not happening because of COVID. That has not been the case in Queensland. Our construction is absolutely continuing right across the state. And
Found someone to build Brisbane Line then?
there's a proposal into government, and government is in discussions with the proponent, so I can't say anything more about that. But once again, Brisbane Live is one of those infrastructure projects that could be used for a 2032 Olympics as well. Okay, it's very clearly it could be used possibly for the swimming.
When do you expect to make a decision on that proposal then?
Well, it's with government. I don't have the timeline on that.
How are you going to clean this email mess up?
I don't believe there's a mess at all. Everything that has been done, Patrick.
Have you ever used a private email?
Sorry?
Have you ever used a private email account for government business?
I said that I have had a private email account, and the emails in question have been through the RTI process, and they have all been retained.
But have you ever used just one email?
Sorry?
It's not just one email account, it's two private email accounts. Why were you using two?
There were just two, so yeah.
What's this AP bounce 11 thing?
I don't know.
Is that not
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know what it means. No, they are going through the RTI process. Well, there's a process here. It goes through the RTI, and all of them have been retained. So if you have an allegation, put it to me.
The Triple C said they've sent you 4 emails, or your department 4 emails. Are you saying the RTI office will be the one ruling on that?
Yes, it's been through the RTI process, Patrick. It has already been through the process.
Wouldn't it be easy just to release it to clear this
No,
all
because there is a process in place. It's actually applied through successive governments. It's applied through the Newman government, and it's applied through my government, and it is under the right to information legislation.
You promised in the 2015 election that merit-based appointments would happen for DGs. Why was the ideology being discussed if that was the case?
A person's political ideology was sent from Minister Bailey to myself. It was sent from Minister Bailey. It was sent from Mark Bailey to myself.
Why?
Well, an RTI officer decides that, Patrick, not me. It's an independent RTI officer. You have been an
RTI officer didn't write
Okay, Patrick, if you have an allegation, put it to me. What is your allegation?
You promised in the election that there
No.
would be merit-based appointments.
What is your allegation? Because that email is actually saying basically that maybe he shouldn't be appointed.
But he didn't get the job in the end anyway.
Correct. So what's your point? What's your allegation?
There's supposed to be merit-based appointments. Why
There was a merit-based appointment. That was nothing to do with the merit-based appointment. People talk about political stuff all of the time.
Should you have been more upfront back then? Like Mark Bailey copped all the heat on this. Should you have sort of been a bit more upfront then?
I have been absolutely upfront and honest.
Are you getting a bit over this email drama by this point?
5 or 6 years ago, you want to talk about the past? Let's keep talking about the past, but I'm here to talk about the future.
Back on that, have you ever used a private email account for government business? Yes or no?
The RTI has been through those emails, Jack. So, as I'm saying to you, if you have an allegation, put it to me. No, if you have an allegation, put it to me. It has been through all of the processes. So what is your allegation?
Do you maintain what you said in Parliament in 2017? You never used
I always believe what I say in Parliament to be correct, okay? I take my integrity very seriously. If you want to keep going on about 5 or 6 years ago, we've had all this turmoil in the LNP over the last 3 days. What questions are being put to the LNP about the complete divisiveness that has occurred in their party? About Mr. Palmer talking to Mr. Sini about specific. All right. Yes, thanks, Lydia.
From Tony Moore.
Okay.
The preliminary plans to get rail passengers across the new Olympic Stadium at Albion, a passenger bridge, perhaps from a connection from Cross River Rail or Exhibition Station.
Is this where he lives? I might get Mark Bailey to address that one. Any other questions from around the state? And then I'll hand over. Yes, I think I had that here. Sorry, I think we've administered 2,030 vaccinations. No, we're not, because there was the National Cabinet decision. My understanding is that each state is responsible for paying their own. Sorry? Well, it never came to our cabinet and it never went to the National Cabinet. So, I think it's absolutely ridiculous for New South Wales to be sending us a bill. I mean, we obviously are doing quarantine for some of their residents. We're not charging them. This is normal work that we've been doing. And also we still are firmly of the view that we need an answer from the Prime Minister about whether or not he will allow flights into Toowoomba, so we can decide one way or another whether or not we're going to have this regional quarantine hub in Toowoomba. Okay? I'll hand over to Mark. Then we've got Cabinet.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Can you just
so
repeat that?
wants to know, the rail lines are closed, but there's no way for people to get from the rail line to this Olympic Stadium in Albion and build a passenger bridge.
Look, obviously, we're looking to connect our transport infrastructure with our venues as well as we possibly can. So we'll be looking at all of those needs in terms of pedestrian movements. That's an important part of the bid. There's still work to do there, but I'm optimistic that we'll have a fantastic transport infrastructure package around all of our venues, and I look forward to working with all of our agencies to ensure that happens.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, Graham, you're going to